Lords of the Fallen is a challenging Souls-like game from developer Hexworks and published by CI Games. Here at Prima Games, we're working hard to provide you with guides for everything you need to be successful in Lords of the Fallen. You've plunged headfirst into Fitzroy's Gorge, excited at the prospect of finding another beacon to cleanse in Lords of the Fallen. But, as you've no doubt come to expect, it's not going to be an easy trip. Aside from all the raving marauders and serpentine marksmen, you'll eventually need to cross a bridge protected by a towering opponent, equipped with both an exploding sword and shield capable of launching fireballs. If this brood has got you down, then look no further as we help you defeat Ruiner in Lords of the Fallen. So, let's begin at the tunnel location of Fitzroy's Gorge. You'll know you're here when the cliffside you initially run along blends into a cave entrance that's protected by enemies wielding axes and crossbows loaded with explosive bolts. Progress through this system of caverns until you come across a collapsed bridge. Take out your Umbral lamp and hold it up to reveal a fleshy replacement that exists in the land of Umbra. Continue down the tunnel until it spits you out into the main cavern. You can drop attack a sleeping enemy under the ledge you need to fall from, after which 2 more foes will charge at you. You can simply avoid them by running to the right. They're slow enough that by the time you get down the bridge guarded by Ruiner, they'll be left in the dust. Speaking of which, now that we're at the boss fight location, let's get ready to knock this flaming monstrosity on his ass. So before we cross the Moth Gate, let's first ensure Burn Resistance Bomb is equipped to one of the quick select slots. We'll be using it to negate buildup rather than resist the actual effect. You'll also want to apply some kind of buff to your weapon, but obviously avoid the fire salts. Once you first set foot on the aforementioned bridge, all will appear safe and normal, until you see the red health bar fade in at the bottom of the screen. This will be followed by a massive Hellboy-esque warrior charging across the structure before he seemingly falters by running into a wooden blockade. With this in mind, feel free to open with a few arrows or bolts since he'll run directly into them and you know when he's going to stop. The ice arrows are a good choice for Ruiner for obvious reasons. Ruiner's moveset is all about area denial as he's always on the offensive and uses his Rogar magic to cut off potential escape routes. More on that in a minute, but you should know that his opening attack is almost always a standard swing of his axe followed by a shield slam. His other frequently used move is smashing his axe into the ground after slowly raising it upwards. When it makes contact with the bridge, it ignites a line of explosions that deal a devastating amount of damage. Since Ruiner is all about sticking close, be ready for him to close whatever gaps you try to make. Like a raging bull, Ruiner will stomp his foot twice before launching into a sprint and ramming you with his chest. It's not going to deal a lot of damage, but it's easy to lose focus on your positioning and accidentally get pinned beneath the boss and the side of the bridge. The 2 other major abilities you'll need to pay careful attention to are his landmines and the shield laser. The latter will see Ruiner stomp his foot and summon an aura of fire around himself, which indicates to you that he's effectively spawned a series of mines around the arena. If you step on one, it'll obviously explode, and while you can dodge over them, you'll need to be blocking from a very specific angle if you want to mitigate the damage. It is possible for Ruiner to create a bunch of them right on top of himself, making it impossible for you to squeeze a hit in. Now, the shield laser will look incredibly impressive when you see it the first time. He'll drag his sword across his shield, sparking a bunch of flames in the process. When you see this, dodge to the left or right since getting hit with the resulting beam is a death sentence. The last thing to bear in mind is that at various points in the fight, Ruiner will summon a small totem that will boost his damage. You can obviously ignore it and continue dodging as much as you want, but I recommend focusing it down as soon as it spawns. Allowing him to have such a drastic buff reduces your margin for error, making the fight much more stressful than it needs to be. While he's a bruiser, this boss lives and dies based on your positioning. Always stick to the middle of the bridge and dodge left and right whenever you can to abuse the flanking angles, and he'll topple soon enough. Make sure to subscribe to Prima Games for our continued coverage on Lords of the Fallen. And if you have your own strategies for beating the bosses, let us know in the comments.